Round 3 of the WNBL and beautiful Cairns is the setting. It doesn't really need much of a build-up tonight. You know what it is. The Southside Flyers are up against the Canberra Capitals to get us going. So the two-time defending champions up against the title favourites in the new season. I'm Corbin Middlemass. Pete Hawley's here. College star, WNBL champion, all-round nice guy. How am I introducing you today?
Oh, that's not too bad. An NBL champion, I'll take that. But what a game we have. This is what everyone, I'm sure both teams would have circled this matchup. It's such an exciting one so early on. Who's going to keep this momentum going? Who's going to get those early bragging rights? And this is going to be a huge one. Both teams are 4-1 to start the new season. Of course, they know each other pretty well. The grand final rematch, the first time that they've played each other since last year's series. Game 1, I called this game out in Dandenong. It was a thrilling matchup. The Flyers actually led it by 6 points going into the final quarter, only for Canberra to get the win in a thriller in Game 1. Yeah, it's going to be huge, and I know this match is going to be circled with the Southside Flyers. Obviously, they bring in some other players, but that game stings, that grand final series stings. They remember that. They want to come out here and not only stamp authority on the league and build that momentum, but they want to get back up on that. And I'm sure they would love to meet them in the grand final to try and give it back to them, but it all starts in this game tonight. And as you saw, clinching the title in Game 2, so at the earliest possible point, but a combined margin of just 5 across the two games showed you how close the two teams are. This is the Cairns pop-up arena. It's actually an old Bunnings warehouse. It's been converted to a basketball court this year. We've already had Super Netball games played there, the WNBL, and of course it'll be the temporary snake pit, the home for the Cairns Taipans in the upcoming NBL. Well, it looks great. From all reports, they're in love it up there, and it's a great little environment. It's just a good little basketball facility, but something that's going to be able to be built up in that time being in Cairns, and hopefully we can get a cracker to get it going in it. Starting lineup, how's that for crewed up Pete Hawley? What a lineup. Well, there's all the talk about the Southside Flyers. So many Opal squad members, so many terrific players, headlined by Liz Cambage, obviously. She's been terrific, but so many other players just come in, especially off the bench. You've got Rachel Jarry, Amy O'Neill came with a great game the other day. They're a team that's obviously the team to beat, but we've seen they can be beat. And here are the two-time defending champions, the Canberra Capitals in the dark singlets this evening. Jade Melbourne, what a start to the new season for the teenage. Oh, she's been awesome, and she's just been a revelation. Obviously, Paul Geist loves what she brings, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens with her today. The Flyers are probably going to go after her, but Mariana Tolo, she's going to have a huge game against Liz, really to try and set the tone. But Maddie Rochi's been outstanding, and I think she's been another revelation. That she's in her great season. She's a terrific player. Kelsey still coming off the bench. Now, the third member of our team tonight, Braden Hazelhurst, is with us courtside at the Cairns pop-up arena. Braden, it's great to have you on board.
Thanks, guys. It's great to be here, especially ahead of such a big game between the UC Capitals and the Southside Flyers. And luckily enough, earlier we were able to catch up with UC Caps youngster Jade Melbourne and Southside Flyers captain Jenna O'Hay about what it's like to play in a grand final rematch.
Yeah, it's good. We always have really close contests and physical contests with Canberra, so I'm sure it'll be no different today. We have a lot of memories from the grand final last year, so we're looking to give it our best effort today.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty exciting. Everyone's pretty pumped up. Southside are a great side, so it's going to be a really good game. We're just going to lock into our defensive scout, get what we want on offense, and yeah, hopefully we're in for a good one.
I read the preview by Chris Pike on the WNBL website where he quoted Beck Cole saying, "It's definitely a rivalry. I want redemption." Pete, you played in a championship with Melbourne United, coming up against your grand final opponent for the first time the following year. Is there a bit of spice in it?
Oh, there is, because that whole off-season, you remember those, especially those close games. They lost at home in the game 1 and then lost on the road, but you have that all circled because you want to get that revenge back. They've got something that you want to take. So to hear Jenna O'Hay talk about it as well, Beck Cole, they want to come and get this game and step this authority really early.
Opal squad members, we know there's a heap in the Southside Flyers lineup. They have 5, 3 for the Capitals. The match, of course, 2 teammates for Australia on numerous occasions. You've got Kelsey Griffin up against Sarah Blitzarves, And then Jade Melbourne and Maddie Rochi, generation next in the backcourt perhaps for the Opals, up against Leilani Mitchell, the veteran at 35.
Well, we saw Jade Melbourne against the Boomers with Maddie Rochi, how well they played together with that energy and that creativity. So Beck Cole and Leilani Mitchell are going to really have to go and be aggressive, especially defensively, to shut them down. But we know where the matchup's going to be won. It's probably going to be right here with these two.
So revenge or repeat, the grand final rematch, and away we go. Cambage wins the opening tip, and Leilani Mitchell has the ball in her hand first. Cambage down low to Jennifer Hayes. She's going to kick it back out. Cambage pulls the trigger for three. Rims out. The rebound scooped up by the Canberra Capitals through Maddie Rochi. It's a game which many had circled as soon as the fixture dropped. The first time we see it since earlier in the year. As Cambage says to Jade Melbourne, you're not putting that up. Swats it away.
And this is something that we love about Jade Melbourne, and she's shown she's not afraid of anyone. She's come in at 18 years old and had a breakout start to the season, and that's a nice little introduction to this game and a great little finish there, but that's all we're going to see from Liz. But on the other hand, great job, great score.
First points to Mariana Tolo. Gets the basket from the inbounds. Here's Beck Cole through the paint, out to the corner, blitz halves to Mitchell up top, shoots the three, left it short, and Tolo with the rebound. Nice start, Caps. Cabillo up the floor it goes. Froling misses from close range, trying to scoop up the loose ball, but O'Hay comes up with it, she's lost it. Here's Froling, the putback, second attempt's good.
Well, she got there in the end. Probably deserved the first one, but good to stay with it and finish off your hard work. But great start we've seen so far from the Caps, and two good box outs. We know how good the Southside Flyers are on offensive rebounds. Two great defensive possessions to finish off and make sure there was no offensive rebound.
Cole to O'Hay, back to Cole, trying to back her way in. Cambage catches up top, off the dribble, trying to find a path through. The pass to Blitzarves, chucks it away. So Canberra in transition. Melbourne off the dribble. Into the shoe of Blitzarves. Watch her game closely. Sarah Blitzarves, a nice shooting display against Perth the other night. 5 of 6 from long range. Tolo again catches down low, trying to go to work against Liz. Step back, jumper up, short. The Flyers back with it. First 4 points of the game for the Caps. Oh, loose pass across the floor, trying to hit the weak side corner. Cole to Mitchell, may lose the handle. And you can see Liz a bit frustrated the ball didn't go in there, but you've got to give credit to Tolo. In the first 3 possessions, she's just met her early down the floor, not let her get anything easy. Granted, she had a wide open 3 ball, but you're probably going to live with that early so she doesn't really set that tone of getting deep seals and getting those easy ones to start. Froling chucks it up top. Tolo puts the shot up and in. Nice start for the Caps, the 2-time defending champs with the first 3 buckets. Sarah Blitzarves trying to create. Got her way to the hoop, lays it in off the glass.
She's the engine room for the Southside Flyers. With all their superstars and all their terrific players, Sarah Blitzarves is the one who can just do all those little things when their team needs the most. We've seen it already, and especially with the added shooting touch that we saw the other night, she is the barometer and the heart and soul of this team.
Rochi to Cabillo, now to Melbourne. Bounce pass down to Tolo. Early points against Liz, has her pocket picked. Sarah Blitzarves with the strip right on cue. Pete Hooley. Cole dumps it down low to Cambage, turnaround jumper, just rims out. Last touch O'Hay, Canberra ball.
Yeah, right on cue. She leads her team with 2 steals a game. She does so much else. Sarah Blitzarves, 15 and 8, add in the 2 steals. Southside Flyers go as she goes, and look to her to have a massive impact in every game, especially this one.
Cabillo off the glass, no good. Melbourne puts up the runner, left it short. Cambage eventually controls it. The MVP favourite, what a start she's had, and there's an early foul caught on Mariana Tolo just as Cambage is bringing up the ball. That'll be a big watch, Pete.
Well, guys, those little ticky-tack fouls, they're going to hurt you in the long run. It might not hurt now, they might not result in free throws, but Tolo is the one who's going to go head-to-head with Liz the entire night. Picking up little fouls like that is going to hurt when they start throwing it in and she has those deep seals, and she's going to get in positions where she's more susceptible to fouling.
Mitchell dumps it down to Cambage, going to work, shot up on Tolo, gets it to drop. She wanted the call for the and one, didn't get it. 6-4. Back-to-back baskets for the Flyers. Here's Jade Melbourne, the teenage sensation, down to Tolo. Tolo manages to get her right hand free and pops it home. Her third mate, so she's got 6 early points. Mariana Tolo coming up against her Opals teammate in Liz Cambash. Nice start for Tolo and the Caps.
Oh, it's been terrific from her, but her defensive energy has been outstanding as well. And it's can they carry that on if she has to take a seat with getting a little rest, or hopefully not pick up another one of those fouls, because it's crucial. But great offensive start.
Kelsey Griffin out there now, former league MVP. Played 30 minutes the other night against Sydney, but still coming off the bench for now. Down to O'Hay. Up top to Mitchell. Catch and shoot. Short. There's Griffin, grabs the rebound. Deciding to shoot the ball in the end, Rochi. Off the iron. Candace the rebound. Just to settle into their groove here, the Southside Flyers. Title favourites up against the defending champs. Mitchell trying to chuck it back to Candace. Taya in the passing lane, comes up with it for Canberra. Up the floor to Griffin. Swings it over to the weak side corner. Melbourne up top to Rochi, off the dribble. Tapaya, catch and shoot for 3. And Tapaya fills it up. 11-4, nice start, Capitals.
Oh, it's great ball movement, fantastic work from defense. Their team defense that last possession was exactly how you want to play against the Southside Flyers. Everyone helping each other, everyone moving, and then to get the ball moving off offense and hit a 3, that's a great little two-play possession.
Candace draws the double team, kicks it back out. Beck Cole, catch and shoot. No good, long rebound, scoops up her own ball. Bounce pass to Sarah Blitzharps. Neat jump shot on the baseline. It's good for 2.
And that's where it hurts. Another good defensive possession. You force a shot, got to come up with it yourself.
Oh, Candace with a block shot. The foul's been called as Rochi trying to take it up for the layup. So Candace called for her first foul.
We talked a bit about, you said Kelsey Griffin playing 30 minutes and still coming off the bench. I think there's no need to really make that adjustment too quick. They haven't been putting a losing streak together. They're playing good basketball. She can still play 30-plus minutes off the bench because the rest of the team has their groove. And I'm sure eventually, come the busy end of the season, the important stuff, they'll throw her in there maybe earlier or whatever. But right now, what they have is working, and they just got to keep easing her back. Brittany Smart's coming back as well. But it's just a great-looking Canberra Capitals team, and they're showing it early.
On a 4-game win streak, their only loss, they went into overtime on the opening night of the WNBL season up against Adelaide. Of course, the Lightning out of quarantine now. They're getting set to step back on the floor tomorrow up against the Boomers. Sarah Blitzharps draws the foul at the other end. Rochi 2 from 2 at the line, so 13-6. An early 7-point break for the Capitals.
And if you watch any of the Southside Flyers, they've got weapons everywhere coming off the bench, and obviously headlined by Liz down low, and a bit of a zone there from them. And they had so much success so far in the first 5 minutes playing man-to-man with everyone moving around and helping each other out. So I'm a bit surprised they went to the zone, because normally I'd really love to see teams switching it up, keeping the other team guessing. But right now, make them do something else against you, because your man-to-man's working. Keep doing that until they have to switch it up.
Sarah Blitzharps, perfect from the free throw line there. Southside Flyers actually the worst free throw shooting team in the competition at this stage through their opening 5 games at just 64%. Here's Jade Melbourne, scoop layup, draws the foul on Candace. You hear the roar from the Canberra bench. Candace with her second personal in the first 6 minutes, and Jade Melbourne with an early win. She'll head to the foul line.
We talked about her breakout season, the creativity, the speed she has off the dribble, and especially running the floor as well. But turning the corner, it was deja vu from the first play of the game, except she had no fear. She's going back in there, used her body well, and that's more important than going to line. Is you've just sent Liz on her second foul. So can they start to string stuff together here and really try and build this lead, get this little cushion out as strong as they can while Liz is sitting?
She touched on it. It's just the attitude that makes her super impressive, isn't it? To go back to the well after the block shot the first time around. She gets to the line, draws the foul, banks both of them. Now Melbourne will sit as Brittany Smart checks into the game. There's the reaction. Kick it back down to Braden in just a moment, who's courtside for us. Nice start for the Capitals. Plenty of noise, I'm sure, coming from their bench. Here's Canberra, the Flyers rather, back on offense. As Leilani Mitchell trying to make her way to the rack. She's fouled. Braden Hazelhurst is courtside for us. Braden, what have you picked up early?
Yeah, it's been a great start offensively for Canberra Capitals. I spoke to Paul Goris before the game about their offense, and he said they sort of lacked purpose.
We'll get back to Braden, coach of the Logan Thunder, their women's team. So great to have him with us as part of our broadcast up in Cairns at the Pop-Up Arena as the WNBL season rolls on. Flyers chuck it away the offense. Second turnover for Leilani Mitchell. Seven-point differential. Talia Tapaya up top. To Roof, chucks it down low. Griffin is going to be called for 3 seconds in the key as she falls onto her backside, picks herself up, a turnover.
Unfortunately, it was a great little move, a great play, and throw it in there, try and get Kelsey Griffin going. But 15-8, it's been a tremendous start, both ends of the floor. We talk about the Southside Flyers. Their depth is what's making them favourites. They have such a strong roster from top to bottom, so that when they bring in the players off the bench, can the Capitals sustain this run, or can they capitalise on it even further? It's so important to really jump on them early and sustain it.
Here's Sarah Blitzarf's catch and shoots, good for three. Gets it to tumble off the dribble. She's up to 9 points. Team only has 11. Margin back to 4. Braden Hazelhurst courtside.
Hey mate, it's been a great start offensively for the University of Canberra Capitals early on. Paul Goris spoke to me earlier before the game about how much they've struggled offensively, especially to have purpose on that end of the floor. And we've seen 2 perimeter makes early on, and players like Jade Melbourne and others turning the corner with purpose and getting Liz Cambage in foul trouble as well. And on the other end for Southside, it's been all Sarah Blitzarf, so she's keeping them in the game at the moment.
Braden Hazelhurst with us on the sideline. We'll hear from him throughout the game and throughout these games that have been played up in Cairns. Middle portion of the regular season. Leilani Mitchell is going to sit. Caps by 6 points. A few running repairs. Clydesdale, O'Hay, Blitzarves. That's Steph, Jarry and Sarah Blitzarves. The 5 out there for the Flyers. Loose pass on the inbounds. Cabillo steals the ball and plays it home. Running downhill, Abby Cabillo. Great work. Back out to 8 points the Caps way.
It's 5 turnovers now for the Flyers. Obviously too many in the first quarter, but this is all the credit to the Caps. Their defense has been outstanding. Their team defense has been the best that I've seen so far against this Flyers outfit. They've only got 2 turnovers, getting a shot pretty much every time down the floor, but this is where they're great. Attacking in transition. They're young guards, they're quick guards, and terrific at that.
Kelsey Griffin, catch and shoot from up top, doesn't get the friendly roll. Sarah Blitzarves with the board and brings it up to Steph. Away to Jenna O'Hay. Final 2 minutes of the opening term. Sarah Blitzarves kicks it back out for Jenna O'Hay. Shoots the 3, no good, and Cabillo the long rebound. Still among the starters, we touched on Abby Cabillo. Away to Griffin and now to Paya. Trying to push her way off Jarry. She draws the fouls. The shot goes up.
And it's just an aggressive take, and that's what the Cap, they've started being aggressive from the very first play, that they get away with stuff like this because the refs have seen from the jump, they've come out more aggressive both defensively and offensively, and then it helps a call that maybe be 50-50 go their way because they've sustained it since the start.
We saw the tweak in the FIBA rules here where they've got a little more technical in terms of you have to be in the act of shooting to actually have the basket count. We saw that rule be applied a little liberally at different times, and so after the tweak, despite the fact the shot went up and in, it was a sideline ball for the Canberra Capitals. An 8-point spread. They get the stop eventually, the Flyers. Jarry, the 1-2, lays it up. Good for the basket.
The transition we talked about on the Capitals, Southside Flyers just as potent in transition. Everyone 1 to 5 can grab that rebound and take off and run, and that's where it's going to hurt the Capitals. They've got to try and limit those, otherwise it could be a long night.
Is to pay out, jump shot inside the key lane, it's good. Two of two. Tapaya coming off the bench. Sarah Blitzarves. Little step back from the baseline. That's neat. Nice start for Sarah Blitzarves. She's up to 11 first quarter points, leads all scorers. 2-possession game, Caps leader. Ruth to Tapaya. There's a foul call. Take another look at this. Griffin and Blitzarves caught in the tangle.
It's a very smart play. It's a veteran move, and coming off that on ball and rolling and stealing the defender. And the only way to get around, you're either going to get a layup or they're going to get a foul call because your seal has been so great after you've set that screen.
Steph Blitzarves sits down for the time being. Bet Cole back on. Here's Cabillo running off the pick, trying to find her way to the basket. Shot up, doesn't drop. Eventually ends up with Bet Cole in the midcourt. Oh, trying to feed it down to Sarah Blitzarves, chucks it away. Sarah's played every minute of the game so far. 11 points at 100% from the field, 2 rebounds. A stat line this opening quarter, 1 steal. Final 12 seconds of an entertaining opening term. Cabillo gets it to Froling eventually. Has it stripped from her by Jenna O'Hay. It's the stop right on the horn for quarter time. So the Canberra Capitals, they lead it by 6. Started like they've been shot out of cannon here. An impressive opening term. They hold a 6-point advantage, the 2-time defending champs, over the title favourites in the Southside Flyers at quarter time. It's Canberra 21. Flyers 15, Pete Hawley.
Well, you said shot it out of a cannon was right. Their aggression and their energy on both ends of the floor were just second to none, and the Flyers are kind of playing catch-up, bar a couple of possessions where they had that breakaway layup and a little bit in transition. Besides Sarah Blitzarves, they've looked pretty average on offense, and they've got to try and fix that. They've got enough talent to be able to do it, and at least getting those 2 fouls really will hurt them. Was listening to Paul Goris here.
Stay close to the Blitzarves, like the step back move, you've got to stay in a pocket, keep on making going into traffic with hands up. She's the only one getting going right now. You've got to force it into the paint, okay? They switch a lot, so when we go to screens, slip screens, okay? We want to go to a 1-up. So, K-Frol, you're in it. So go to a 1-up. Tolo. No, you're in this. Okay.
I'll be opposite.
Mick, no, Mick, you stay down here.
Okay.
Abby, this is you. Rochi, this is you. Let's go. K-Frol, you be here. Mick, you be there.
Yeah.
So throw it. Come off this K-Frol wide. Rochi, stay out here. There, you get the nut in. They haven't got Liz in. You're going to post up. Yeah. No, just get it to K-Frol. She's coming off. They'll switch it.
And then
hit it to here. 1 down. Post up. Okay, got Liz in.
Here we go, Mike!
Go.
You see, Caps!
You want to go everything to the basket.
So that's the Canberra Capitals. Paul Goris, their senior coach. Braden Heselhurst was close by to the Southside Flyers and Cheryl Chambers. What was the message there, Braden?
It was all about offensive execution for Cheryl Chambers in that Southside Flyers quarter-time break. Only 15 points for the highest scoring team in the league. And as Peter said during the first quarter, Canberra really able to stifle their offense a bit. So it was all about offensive execution for the Flyers.
Ruth, Cabillo, Orochi, Tolo and Froling to start his second term. Candage still sits with 2 personal fouls. Mariana Tolo, a nice start with 6 early points. Inadvertently kicks it over the baseline and coughs it up right on cue. The commentator's curse coming in.
well, she'd be frustrated with that. But again, great first play out. And if that doesn't go, get it to her, try and get her rolling again, because you know when Liz comes back in, she's going to try and be dominant. Try and get Tolo to keep going with that momentum she's already started the game with.
O'Hay cutting to the basket, lays it home for 2. 7 individual scores in that opening quarter for Canberra, just 3 for the Flyers. Well, Rochi goes the length of the floor, misses an open layup. Jen O'Hay pulls it down and foul called.
It's back-to-back possessions, and they should have got something better than that, the Capitals, and we're going to harp on it all season, but especially tonight we see it. These young guards from the Capitals, they are so aggressive in the open floor, and it could look like it's a 5-on-5 half-court situation, but one of them will break someone down off the dribble and get to the rim in a heartbeat, as we saw there, just unlucky not to make it.
Physical start, grand final rematch. Corbin Middlemass, Pete Hawley, Braden Heselhurst with you as Clydesdale driving to the rack, can't finish. Queuing up for the rebound as Rochi takes it up the floor. Here's Cabillo to Froling. At the Tolo, catches up top. Cabillo, back to Roof. She's going to try a hand from long range. Her jumper doesn't go. Tolo competing for the offensive rebound. Wrestles it from Jenna O'Hay. Jump ball called. She's been super impressive out the gates, Mariana Tolo.
That's what they need. The Capitals needed her to come out and be aggressive against Liz, who's coming off a tremendous game, and it's just rolling over now. Can they keep trying to feed her and get her going and really try and build this lead? This is the time you should be building your lead, and they've 2 little bunnies they've missed, unfortunately, to start.
Arrow with the Flyers, so they've got it on the offensive end. Great pass, O'Hay to Clydesdale. Clean look and drops it in. Amy Clydesdale had a very important role for the Flyers last year, originally off the bench, and then had to tap in for Jenna O'Hay when she hurt her wrist at the back end of the season. Featured among the starters heading into that grand final series. Tolo, the handoff to Roof, and the layup's good.
Got some reward for effort. Great movement off the ball. They keep feeding Tolo, which is what we said they need to do. And now they've got to start to string a couple of stops together, because whatever Cheryl Chambers said at quarter time, their first possession, a little shuffle screen for the Flyers, wide open for Jenna O'Hay. Their offense is starting to click. Can the Caps ramp up their defense like they had in the first quarter?
Jenna O'Hay to knot it up, misses. Froling with the ball, chucks it to Rochi, and last touch Sarah Blitzarves, out it goes. Sarah Blitzarves, 11 points, chucking 3 rebounds and a steal to that. She's been the best player on the floor for the Flyers so far. Here's Rochi. Tolo kicks it to Kelsey Griffin, dumps it back down to Tolo. Spin move, reverse layup, that's good.
We sound like a broken record, but what a start for Mariana Tolo and the Caps, and they just keep feeding her until someone's going to step up and stop her, and she's really rolling right now. That's a better finish. That's a reward for effort that she deserved.
Here's Jarry on the dribble penetration, draws the foul. It's going to be a second on Tolo. 2 on Cambage, who's still sitting. Played the first 6 minutes of the game, Liz Cambage.
But there are fouls you're going to live with because you're not in position and you just get beat off the dribble. They're going to happen. It's the one before at the half-court line in the first quarter that she didn't need to do, and that gives you 2 fouls. And now in the back of her mind, for the last 7 minutes where she's rolling, she's thinking, if I play too aggressive here on defense, I'm going to have to sit down. And when you're rolling, that's the last thing you want to do. So that's why that foul at the half-court line becomes so important, because it didn't need to be there. Liz wasn't going to shoot it from half-court.
Mariana Tolo sits down for the Caps. Here's Rochi on the perimeter. Hands it away to Tapea. Griffin one way to the other. Rachel Jarry not happy with that. Baseline ball for the Caps. Here's Kelsey Griffin, the league MVP from a couple of years back. Jump hook off the glass is good.
Well, I'd like to have seen the foul again. It looked like she might have got away with one there, Kelsey Griffin. Rachel Jarrett didn't do too much wrong, but hey, you've got a foul call, got something positive your way, throw it back in there. That is a tough finish. Right down the other end, trying to get something back, but when Tolo goes out with those 2 fouls, it's good to have Kelsey Griffin to be able to have a real bit of vocal point offensively.
Here's Rochi inside the keyway. Kicks it back out to Griffin, hands it back to Rochi, pulls the trigger. Bang, that's what she wanted. Madison Rochi with her first make from long range tonight. She's up to 5 for the game, and it's out to 8 points again. Cole, tough finish, can't complete. Momentum with the Caps here, midway through this second term. They continue to work it around the perimeter. Tapia rides some contact, puts up a tough shot, gets the shooter's roll, and Canberra lead it by 10. We're out to a game-high lead for the Canberra Capitals, the 2-time defending champs. 32, the Flyers 22. Pete Hawley, 5:40 to go in this second quarter.
Oh, besides a couple of lackluster turnovers, their offense has been perfect. Their aggression, they're going at the right times, and maybe a bit lucky with that shot by Tapia there, but everything else has been great. They're getting players where they want, they're getting them where they're going to be successful. And Cheryl Chambers obviously wasn't happy with the offense in the first quarter from the Flyers, and they came out, looked a little better, but now with Tolo out, I wouldn't be surprised if it's probably another 30 seconds to a minute. We're going to see Liz back in this game with Tolo out. Can they try and get her rolling, as we see right there, and here she comes.
So here is Coach Chambers.
If the ball goes in and you're on a shooter, deny the ball back out and make sure that we talk and we switch at the point of screen. Okay, don't switch beforehand. We've done it a couple of times, so no more switching beforehand. Next play, we're going to a zone. If we score. Yeah, sorry, I thought it was our ball. So if we score, we're just back to a 2-for-1 phase here. Other than that, we're in man-to-man. They're going to be physical with us. The rest, we're not going to change the call, so we're just going to have to get on with it, all right? Here we go, Southside Flyers. Let's go.
I think the scout coming in, we all knew it was going to be a physical game. It's been exactly that. And Coach Chambers just backing the truck over to the style and the physicality of the Canberra Capitals.
Well, it's going to go to a zone now. They're going to try and switch something up. And one thing the Canberra Capitals do so well, besides being organised, is that championship mentality. You've just got that as a team and as a culture. But when someone gets the ball, the movement off the ball, the cuts, the screens, they get so many little back doors, little shuffle cuts. They're really hard to guard in that aspect. So the zone takes that away. But it also protects Liz in these crucial minutes where she can't be picking up a third foul.
So here she is back on the floor, one of the best players in the world, Liz Cambage. There's a foul called away from the basketball. It's going to be on Froling for a push on Cambage. Those in any kind of foul trouble, Rochi and Tolo both with 2, Cambage and Jarry with 2. Halfway through the second term, grand final rematch. O'Hay dumps it down to Liz, shot up and it's good. So Cambage in the low block, drew the double team. She's tough to stop in that scenario, Pete.
Oh, she is, and they had a couple early they didn't go to in that first quarter, and she was getting frustrated, and I'm sure Cheryl Chambers was getting frustrated. So it's an easy one when she seals that low. You can just throw it up, and she's going to be able to get it done. But
it's just a second basket to pay it. Misses the layup with the left hand.
And now if you're Paul Gorich, you're thinking, how long can I keep Mariana Tolo sitting on the bench for? I know she has 2 fouls, but if they're going to start being ultra-aggressive, throwing the ball to Liz, that really makes it interesting. If she picks up another one, then they could be in big trouble. This is a crucial 5 minutes for both teams, but with Liz back on the floor, the Caps, this 5 minutes is huge.
Flyers are coming off 117 points against Perth. They've reached triple figures in 3 of their 5 games so far. They're just at 24 points here halfway through the second term. Great job defensively by Canberra. Here's Sarah Bledsoe, good layups, good, draws the foul. Froling called for a second in the space of 30 seconds. And Sarah Bledsoe, her scoring binge continues. She's up to 13 points and headed to the foul line.
She's 100% from the field. She's yet to miss. And as I said, she's the barometer of this team, and not just because she's scoring, but she plays 29 minutes a game. And when you've got a team that's loaded with talent, they can afford to only play 20 or so, 23 minutes, but she plays the most because of how important she is. Doesn't necessarily have to score the ball, just everything she does in those little 1%ers is crucial.
Up to 14. 3 rebounds and a steal to go along with that. Here's Jade Melbourne. Kicked it out late, Froling from the baseline, rims out. There's Sarah Blitzarves on the boards. Leilani Mitchell up top to Cole. Extra pass. Sarah Blitzards cannot miss. Just a fire that can't be put out at the moment. Sarah Blitzards. She's up to 17 points, and Southside back within 2.
She's been outstanding, and it's not just that, it's her movement. Everything becomes, well, she's always in the play, and a little reversal there after the transition fell through, but you watch everything she does, she gets in the right spots to be successful. They don't necessarily throw it down to her and say, go to work. If she sees that Liz has maybe drawn 2 or her help side defender's gone across the help, she gets to a spot where she's going to have a little bunny or a wide open shot. And she's just a smart player, and that's why she's so important to this team. And obviously not missing helps as well, but what a great start for her, and she's brought them right back into this game.
Let's go shoulder. Yeah. Run into shoulder and get the low post, and we get whatever it is up out of there.
This is Cheryl Chambers just chatting to her team. It's Liz Candace, one of the best players on planet Earth in women's basketball. 4 points for her tonight through 7 minutes in early foul trouble. She's back on the floor and the team's on an 8-0 run. Sarah Blitzards the story, 17 points, 100% from the field.
Oh, just as much as we mentioned how smart she is off the ball, these are the times when they're having so much emphasis on trying to get the ball to Liz. If you're Jenna O'Hay, if you're Leilani Mitchell, Beck Cole, you're just spotting up, waiting for your defender to turn their head, and you can get some wide open threes or you can get a little backdoor cheapie. So these are great minutes to have Liz on the floor if you're the Southside Flyers.
Canberra have led all night. 2-point game. Froling, handoff to Melbourne, driving, kisses it off the glass. 2 more for Jade Melbourne. Happy to go right at Liz Candace. We saw earlier in the game Candace picking up her second foul in that very scenario. Got the mismatch on Melbourne here and says, have 2 of these back. Froling, driving, layups good.
I'll give the credit to Tupaya there. It's a great little brush screen and made Liz turn her head, and then Froling really aggressive turning the corner. We said that's where the Caps were good early, being able to turn the corner, be aggressive.
Foul caught on the offense. Jenna O'Hay, Leilani Mitchell both passing through the lane. Let's have a look at this again, Pete. Ooh.
Just unfortunate that Jade Melbourne just stuck with. Jade Melbourne got beat but stayed with it, and then Jenna O'Hay was out of position and accidentally just ran in there, still moving. Probably there, I think it's a great call.
36-32, 4-point spread. Canberra back with it. In the black singlets. Shot up from Rochi, off the iron, no good. Candace with the rebound. So Mariana Tolo back out there. Both Tolo and Candace for 2 fouls. Catch and shoot, Jenna O'Hay, no good. Tolo to Melbourne. Jade Melbourne through the lane, lays it up. Just dancing straight through the keyway, the 18-year-old. And finishes at the hoop up to 6 points.
She's outstanding. Her creativity, that's the word I love to use to describe her. She is so creative. Had no right to get through that gap as Liz just goes strong.
Oh, Liz backing her way in, called for the offensive foul. Riding the contact from Tolo. And Liz has been called for a 3rd personal.
That's a great take by Mariana Tolo. She felt the first one, didn't go down on the first one, as you see here, felt that one. And then when Liz started to square up, you go down. That's how you're taught to take charges in the post, not to go down on the first one because it looks like a flop. She took that first one right through the chest, waited for Liz to see that little bit of separation and aggression, and then took that second one. That is a great defensive play. And now you got 2 minutes 34 to really, really set in and try and build this lead.
Big moment in the context of the game, Pete. 2.5 minutes before half-time. They're going to call the tech here as well, so foul shots in possession coming up. Rochi hits the foul shot.
Well, that makes it even bigger because now that if that technical foul is on Liz, that's her 4th, which is really crucial because they started to roll when she didn't necessarily have to score. She was just such a big presence.
That's a massive call.
But it's the right call. Mariana Tolo was there at the start. If she went down on the first one, maybe you can say it was a flop. She stood there, took that first one, and when Liz squared up to get on that second one, she went straight through her, and just a really smart play.
Tolo draws the foul. Jenna O'Hay, so foul shots coming up for Tolo.
And it's made more frustrating for Liz, obviously, because she started to roll. She started to get things going. The team was playing well. Sarah Blitzarves was loving having her on the floor, so I know it was more frustrating than that to know you have that. You can't capitalise on it with, another technical foul, because that hurts your team more than you.
Is it tech warranted?
I'd hate to see exactly what happened. If she had some words to say, then maybe, but we know she's an emotional player. That's what makes her so good and so fun to watch. She's got to know how important she is to the team in a situation like that.
So 4 fouls for Cambage. 8-point spread. Momentum back with Canberra. Timeout going to be called. 2 minutes and 12 to go before half-time. Coach Chambers having an extended chat with the ref. So we get a close look at the Southside Flyers bench. Cambage up on her feet with the towel.
And we've got a better view of different side of replays and everything, but even if that call's not there, even if it's not, she gets unlucky, you just can't make sure you get a technical foul, because you go from 3 fouls to 4, where 3 you can start the second half. 4 you really should be sitting to start the second half, which could really hurt your team when they come out of the halftime.
Okay, let's let all that emotion go, and let's just get back on board and ride this here. Okay, for the next 2 minutes, let's not let them score. Okay, we keep them scoreless. Yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Southside Flyers.
Kelly Froling, 2-time championship winner with the Caps. Townsville local. Say Townsville local. Townsville native is probably more like it. Foul call on Beck Cole, trying to set a pick in the mid-court.
I don't mind the idea. Try and switch something up. Someone's got to bring some energy into this game and aggression the right way. We saw Cheryl Chambers say, let's bring the emotion out of it, but that doesn't mean you can't get ultra aggressive on defense, try and do something else, make the Capitals uncomfortable, because that little play, that little 30 seconds has swung this game, because the Flyers were back in it. Liz was rolling, Blitzarves was rolling, they were right back in this game, and in 30 seconds it's switched 180.
Could go back to 10 points with these foul shots. That's the game-high margin so far Canberra's way earlier in the quarter, as Rochi misses her first at the line. She's 84% from the free throw line so far this year. Coming off 17 points against Sydney Saturday night. It's the second day of basketball in the WNBL at the Cairns Pop-Up Arena. We had a double-header the other night. Both these teams played here and had wins. Southside big win over Perth, Canberra close win over Sydney. Beck Cole puts up the shot, misses. Griffin pulls down the strong rebound. 9-point game. Eventful second quarter. The grand final rematch. Cambage with 4 fouls. Picking up the technical moments ago. And sitting. Froling tries to kick it back out. Cole, clever. Closely guarded by Tapia. Alani Mitchell trying to create off the dribble. Chucks it down to O'Hay. Blitzarves, who's been sensational. The step back Jade misses. Her first miss from the field. Sarah Blitzarves comes 70 seconds before half-time. Here's Tapia, time running out on the shot clock. Just gets a shot up and banks it off the glass. Talia Tapia in the nick of time And all of a sudden, Pete Hawley, it's at 11 points, a new game high Canberra's way.
That hurts because it was actually back-to-back possessions. The Flyers playing way better defence, more aggressive, everyone moving together, and she's got unlucky. It's a really good finish by Tapeo, who's had another 2 of those so far, and that's what's going to hurt when you're really trying to eat into a lead, is little bunnies like that. They've got to go down.
Jenna O'Hay can't get it to go, so another rebound for Kelsey Griffin. She's up to 6 boards. The game so far, the former league MVP. The other side of the floor from Sarah Bledsoe's two championship teammates with Bendigo. Here's Rochi trying to get the final play of the half. Fouled on route to the basket. Sarah Bledsoe's will be called for it. Coming up at halftime, Megan Huswaite, a special feature on Steph Bledsoe's. A number of mums have made their way into the WNBL hub. Beautiful story from Megan on Steph, which Sarah features in, and baby Arlo, who's travelling around with the team. Get a word with Braden courtside as well. Some foul shot split there from Rochi. 12 points, Canberra's lead. Southside kept it just 32. Time running out in the first half, going the length of the floor. Leilani Mitchell misses the layup. And Canberra by 12 at half-time. It's the Capitals 44, Southside 32. Cambage with 4 fouls in that first half. No shortage of talking points, Pete Hawley.
Oh, it's not, and it's probably a little flattering, that scoreboard, to the Flyers. They had a little 5-minute period when Liz was on where they brought that game back for the most part of that half. The Canberra Capitals just outplayed them on both ends of the floor. They were terrific. They looked well executed. They looked super aggressive on both defensive and offensive ends. And they just look like the better team, and it's no surprise they'd probably like a bit more of a lead, but the Flyers have missed some bunnies in those last couple of minutes, but that stems from that momentum swing. That was a massive part in this game.
Picked up her third foul, Liz Cambage, and then picked up a technical moments later, so she now has 4. It's a 12-point margin. As Pete said, huge turning point in the game. The Flyers had closed within 2. Great run for Canberra to end that first half. Braden Hazelhurst is courtside for us.
Hi, Mariana. In the first, before the game, Gorry spoke about playing with more purpose offensively. How did you think you did with that in the first half?
Yeah, I think we look to attack them and exploit their defense. And I think you look at the score line, and it speaks to the game in that we wanted to play defense. They're over a 90-point scoring team, and we're holding them to 32 for the half. So that's what our focus is going to keep being for the rest of this game.
Offensively, you seemed like you're playing through the post a lot, able to get Liz in foul trouble. How did you think you did on that end?
Yeah, that was definitely a focus for us as well, because if you look, there's big Liz, and then after that they're a lot shorter and a lot shallower in the post. So that was definitely a focus for us to try and attack her and make her make some fouls, and we did that.
No worries. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
So the Southside Flyers, they've led every game so far at half-time. Their lowest score to half-time this year was 40 points before this. They've been kept at just 32 by Canberra in a half of basketball. This is the matchup, the mouthwatering matchup leading in Pete Hawley, Liz Cambage up against Mariana Tolo.
Well, we said that was where the game was going to be won, and what a great start for Mariana Tolo. Her aggression on both sides was unbelievable, and the big thing is the 4 fouls, which is the obvious one, but her aggression on defense that led to her aggression on offense was just second to none, and I think the Capitals just started running with it, and this was a couple of the first plays early on, and now they're just rolling. Now they're starting to get things really rolling.
How important was it to get on top in this matchup in particular with Liz?
Oh, it's huge. It would have been spoke about pre-game, saying if we can go at her early, really try and get her into a couple of foul trouble, it changes the game. And we saw how dominant Liz was when she was on the floor in that second quarter, and she scored a couple of easy ones. Right there, that's the call. And as I said, even if you think it's the wrong call, even if it is the wrong call, as well, you can't afford to double down with a tech, because now you probably can't start this third quarter unless Cheryl Chambers says, look, we need to get some momentum going, don't get a foul. But I wouldn't be risking her, and as you said there, she wasn't happy about it. But from all reports and what I could see, it's a great play by Mariana Tolo, and to get a tech as well out of it, you've done well for your team.
Oh, it's a massive turning point in the context of the game. Southside were within 2. It's now 12 at halftime, which is as wide as it's been right throughout. Here are the key stats to halftime, Pete.
Oh, the fouls are going to be the big one. We're going to be talking about that in this second half. But the turnovers, 9 turnovers, and probably 7 of those have been forced turnovers by the Capitals. But what are they doing to the Flyers? They're really just defensive pressures all over the shop, and they're really all up and in and forcing the Flyers to feel uncomfortable. They're throwing the ball away. And granted, they have missed a couple of bunnies, but their energy has been contagious and terrific, and we see that in the first half, and it starts with plays like that.
What about the physicality that Canberra have brought in that first half?
Well, if you're the Southside Flyers, this is a grand final rematch. If you think the referees don't know that as well, everybody knows it's a grand final rematch. They know it's going to be ultra physical, that everyone's going to go at it. There's so much more to this game than just a regular season game. So you've got to expect the physicality, and Canberra's been ready for it. And they've had a couple of things not go their way, but they've just kept going, put their head down and go. But we know how good this Southside Flyers team are. Even with Liz, if she has to sit, they're still loaded with talent and their depth. So they're going to be able to come back in and start this second half. But it's going to be that first couple of minutes. Can they start to stamp authority? And on the other end, you talk about Tolo, her dominance. Maddie Rochi's been terrific. Jade Melbourne's done her thing as well. Keely Frolic. They just get it done in every good way, but that's what championship teams do.
Here's Kelsey Griffin. She's done a lot of work, particularly defensively, come up with 6 boards. There are only points, just spinning baseline and kissing it off the glass. Coming off the bench again today, and Pete, you commented on the role that she's playing in this team at the moment. No reason to unsettle things. They're on a 4-game win streak, and they lead arguably the best roster in the WNBL by 12 at the half.
There's not, and Paul Gorris will be looking at it. If they're getting off to slow starts every single game, then maybe you try and switch it up. But I think they only had a 1 game or so where Kelsey was back where they were a bit slower off the start. But everyone knows their role right now, and everyone's playing with confidence. Don't mess with that. It's a working recipe, so there's no need to change it. And he still has it in his back pocket to say, hang on, if we start getting off to a couple of slow starts, I'm going to throw Kelsey in because I know how good she can be. But right now, I'm sure she loves her role as well.
If you coach Cheryl Chambers at half-time, what do they need to do, the Flyers?
I think she said, take the emotion out of it and just know how good you are and how much you can put points on the board and play defense together with no matter who's on the floor. So just come out and try and outplay their aggression, because they did it from the start and just had more energy and more aggressive from the get-go, and they need to come out better than that.
It's been a great half of basketball. Plenty of intrigue around, obviously, what's happening with the Flyers at the moment. It's an interesting start to the season. So their 2 best games, or their 2 highest credentialed opponents, I guess, that they've come up against. The Melbourne Boomers, of course, they had a slip-up, and then here they are down by 12 at halftime in Cambage, missing through foul trouble. So we'll have to wait and see how they go without her in the second half. It's a 12-point differential. Sarah Blitzovs was outstanding in that first half of basketball. She has 17 points, and I think only missed 1 shot in that half, so 86% from the field.
Oh, she was great, and I spoke about it. She is the barometer of this team. When she goes, the Flyers go. And she doesn't have to be thrown the ball in the low post. She doesn't have to do all this kind of stuff. She just gets in the right spots, and her energy is contagious. She's going to be the one to step up here and really take it, the game by the reins in this third quarter. But it helps when she's shooting the lights out as she is right now. Commentators curse may have made her miss that last one. I'll put my hand up for that one. But great first half from her. And if I'm Cheryl Chambers, I'm saying we've got to start to revolve around her. And who else is going to step up? It can't just be her.
Her sister-in-law, Steph Blitzovs, is, of course, in the hub. Megan Huswaite had the chance to catch up with her during the week.
We were always going to just see what happened, whether my body decided I could or couldn't do it, and so far, fingers crossed, it's been okay. It's a bit of a balancing act. I mean, you forget about yourself sometimes, but you really have to get on the recovery, and after he's gone to sleep at night, it's a lot of rolling and resting and making sure that he's drinking water and I'm drinking water. So yeah, it's been a balancing act, but it's been great so far. So he's actually really enjoyed it because there were so many other people, and he's finally socialising and getting to know other people, which is a relief, because we were like, oh, we're going to have an isolated baby that's not going to get along with other people. He only saw Chris and I for such a long time, but he's really loving it and thriving, and now that we can get out and about because we've done our quarantine, it's been the best. It is very special, and I mean, we can have a little play group. We couldn't have that in Melbourne because of COVID, so it's nice to be able to have some freedom, and Arlo can finally socialise with other people, which is great. Southside has been fantastic, so even the training aspect, he was coming to training for a while, and they've just been really accommodating for him, which makes me feel a lot better, because you're always kind of worrying in the back of your head, what's happening, what's he doing, is he all right? But I feel just a bit relaxed when I'm with Southside. They're really taking care of us. you're stuck with everyone getting to know what people like, what people don't like, if you need to leave people alone, if people love constant company. So it's been, yeah, a real bonding thing because we didn't have a really big pre-season. It was really kind of good for us. You've had a lot of auntie cuddles. You love Auntie Rara, don't you? And yeah, it's been really good that there's been a bit of like a familiar face before we got to the hub, that he had someone that he could go to rather than just coming into a whole bunch of new faces. But yeah, so far it's been really, really good. We definitely are missing Daddy, which is tough, but FaceTime is a beautiful thing. Arla knows that he kisses the phone now. So it's a bit beautiful, but still sad at the same time. I'm really happy the season's going ahead because basketball is the longest standing elite women's sport. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we do all the right things, recover our body well, and we can hopefully be successful there. Yay! Hopefully there's a lot of clapping for the Flyers this season. Do you think?
There is little Arlo. He's got his singlet on. So he's having a pretty good time. Is that a sandwich he's got in his hand at halftime, Pete?
Oh, how good's the story of it all? But that's why the hub is so terrific. And there's a shorter pre-season where you can't be around your team. Everyone gets to be around. I'm sure all the girls on the team and get around him, and they love that little family. And that's the key word that Steph used, was family. It's just a terrific thing to have that hub, and I'm sure they love that aspect of it.
I think that might have been a gift too from Auntie Sarah. I noticed that it was number 15, the singlet that little Arlo's wearing, and not that of Mum Steph. Here's the rest of the fixtures in round 3. So tomorrow night will be fascinating. First of all, the game between Melbourne and Adelaide. Boomers coming off a loss, and Adelaide coming straight out of quarantine.
Yeah, the Boomers got to bounce back, and they've got to start to show what we know they're capable of. And yeah, the Adelaide Lightning's the big one. They won the 2, went into quarantine. Momentum is so big in this hub season. What are they going to be able to produce? Are they going to have their legs under them? Are they just going to come out all guns blazing and shoot the lights out? We'll wait and see, but they're an exciting team. But the Boomers need to bounce back, and I'm sure they will.
It's the second leg of the doubleheader for the Perth Lynx. They play Canberra on the Thursday night. They play the Southside Flyers on the Wednesday night, so I'm sure the Lynx will be watching closely the grand final rematch.
A couple of Cairns Taipans, Mirko Jeric and Nate Jawo taking it in. And
I was about to say, a bit of a familiar face. Outback Shack. Of course, the Cairns Taipans will be playing their home games here, Pete, this season in the NBL, the Cairns Pop-Up Arena. Big redevelopment taking place at the Triple C, the Cairns Convention Centre. So that'll be sensational when complete. A $176 million upgrade delayed by 3 months. So as a result, as it's rightfully named, the Pop-Up Arena, an old Bunnings warehouse, has been reconfigured to stage basketball and indoor sports in the interim.
Well, just another thing that we love Bunnings, and another tick off there, and it looks like a great little stadium, a great little setup. And Cairns, it's a tough place to play going up to the convention centre, and the fans really get into it. I'm sure they're going to relish this as well. It's just something that just helps them bring stuff together and bring that community together and help this hub. It looks great, and players love it from all reports, and that's what it's all about. The fans can get along now, so it's great.
The court and the seating is actually from the Triple C, so if that looks a little familiar, the government stepping in to cover all costs involved, including the temporary change rooms and the air conditioning. So a beautiful venue to stage the middle portion of the WNBL season back to Townsville for the home stretch in the playoffs. Second half action coming up here. The defending champs, the 2-time defending champions, the Capitals. And the title favourites, the Flyers, with some work to do. Leilani Mitchell misses her jumper to start the second half. 12-point game, as wide as it's been. Melbourne hands it out to Rochi, deep 2, up, misses everything. Flyers will get it back.
And as expected, Liz Cambage obviously sitting down with 4 fouls, and wasn't a bad little play. Leilani Mitchell had a nice little jumper down the other end. Unfortunately, not to go, but can they start to string some stops together? And on the other end, who else is going to score besides Sarah Blitzarves?
Blitzarves has played all bar about 30 seconds in the game as Jarry misses her shot, grabs her own board, chucks it out to Cole. Foul call.
And you're right, she'll love, everyone loves being able to play and play a lot of minutes, but in a hub season when you have to back up in the next couple of nights, they won't know the effects of that until a couple of weeks down the track. So it's important that someone else can step up here and give her a little breather here and there, because when you don't have too much time to rest in between games, it just slowly builds up and then it hits you eventually.
Cole, great pass, cutting to the basket. O'Hay off the window. First points of the second half for the Flyers.
Great pass and really smart front cut there to get on the board.
Melbourne bounces it through to Cabillo, trying to find Tolo. Jenna O'Hay's going to be called for the foul. The threat of Mariana Tolo trying to make her way to the hoop. O'Hay up to 3 personals, so 3 on Jenna, 4 on Cambeche, including the technical. 10 points, the Capitals lead. Froling finishes over the defender, Jarry, and it drops. Keely Froling with the make, back to 12. Mitchell to Jarry, puts the shot up, doesn't go. Tolo, critical touch on it. Cabillo scoops up the ball. Abby Cabillo charges straight through O'Hay illegally. And the foul called on the offense. Abby Cabillo called for it.
The aggression of the guards of the Canberra Capitals, they're always in attack mode, but just way to move your feet there if you're Jenna O'Hay and to try and take it through the chest. And that would have been a crucial one. If that goes the other way, that's her 4th as well. So a really good defensive play.
Liz on the bike, happy with that. Applause all around from the Flyers bench.
Well, if you're Cheryl Chambers, you want to try and see if they can really peg this back. If this starts to blow out, she might have to try and risk her at one of these earlier points to try and get momentum back. But if they can keep it around 10 and slowly close that gap by 3/4 time, and Cheryl Chambers doesn't have to use her at all in this 3rd quarter, that's going to be huge for the Flyers.
Still at 12 as it was at the half. First 2 minutes of the 3rd. Jenna O'Hay down to Sarah Blitzharps. Nice work, Rochi forces the turnover. Here's Jade Melbourne, finishes over the top of Jenna O'Hay. And the 18-year-old continues to put on a show. How about that from Jade Melbourne? Just takes it straight to Jenna O'Hay. Tough shot, finishes.
She had no right to make that. The creativity that goes on from an 18-year-old rookie is insane. And I love the aggression she plays with, and I love it. She just looks like she has so much fun out there, and it's so fun to watch, and I'm sure her teammates just love playing with it.
Absolutely infectious. Jade Melbourne on D against Sarah Blitzharps. Cole, great bounce pass, and Jenna O'Hay again cutting through the hoop, or through the lane to the hoop. Lays it home for 2 more. She's up to 6. Back to a 12-point game. What have the Capitals got? Melbourne chucks it down to Froling. Off the window, 2 more.
This is what Jade Melbourne can do. We saw it against the Boomers. The creativity off the dribble to stay composed and find Keely Froling. And we talk about Sarah Blitzharps can get in the right spots to be successful. Froling's another one who can do the same thing, but right on cue, Blitzharps, she is having a blinder.
A hot hand, 19 points now, 88% from the field, just 1 miss. Hand on it from Cole. Canberra ball. Slow start, understandably, for Canberra when they started the season, Pete. Talia Tapea injured, Brittany Smart likewise, and of course Kelsey Griffin. That stress reaction in her back, and they've got better and better each start. Nice win over Melbourne. Here they are, 12 up against the Flyers. And Rochi with some more points.
Well, it helps when Maddie Rochi and Jade Melbourne have been revelations to Paul Goris when you say you're bringing in such big players to try and find their feet. But that's the beauty of a season like this. It's not going to take long for them to get their wind under them. Kelsey Griffin, you see, she's already playing 30 minutes now. It's a great take by Beck Cole there. But it really started with their guards. Maddie Rochi, Jade Melbourne have been terrific in the start.
She's trading buckets both ends of the floor at the moment. Still sitting around that 12 to 14 margin, and Froling returns it to 14 points. Froling up to 10. She had 6 of them already in this 3rd quarter, which is less than 4 minutes old. Leilani Mitchell, guarded by Melbourne, takes her off the dribble, off the window, rips out. Melbourne pulls down the board. Settles on her strike, and Rochi bangs down the triple from up top. Had plenty of time to settle on her strike. It drops, she's up to 13, and that game-high margin balloons out to 17 points, Pete Hooley.
The Capitals are so, we know how good they are in transition. They're so quick and everyone just runs the floor. But because they've done that consistently for the whole game, it opens up miscommunication on the defense, as we see from the Flyers there. Everyone's trying to get back as the Caps are running. Then you leave Maddie Rochi out there. She's leading the team with 17 points per game. She plays 34 minutes a game in a hub season, which is insane as well. But it's the credit to how quick and they want to run, but when you can do that and also slow down and execute offense, that's why they're so good. That's the championship caliber that's just put in from Paul Goris, and that's a massive credit to him, but for everyone to buy in as part of that team.
Rochi up to 13 points, 43% from the field. She was asked pre-season what she wants to work on. She said, I want to work on my fitness, I want to work on my three-point shot. Well, she's got the clean look there, bangs it down. A nice rainbow three from up top. It's back to 17, or it's out to 17 points Canberra's way.
Well, she's knocking that down. She becomes an even bigger threat on the floor. We know how quick she is off the dribble, how aggressive she can turn the corner. She's knocking that down consistently to make the defense have to try and get all up and in, and then not be able to go around. She's just got all these weapons now, and we know how quick she is, but being able to play with Jade Melbourne and have her do the same thing is a great thing for the Caps.
Shot of Keely Froling there, 6 points for the quarter. Here's Cambage back out there, some points, catching down low. Good move, time to go.
Yeah, as I'm talking about Cheryl Chambers, it's 17 points. If this gets out to 25, it's going to be tough to bring back. So you've got to roll the dice now and trust that she's going to be smart not to pick up a little one here.
Flyers playing catch up, Cambage with 4 fouls. Rochi just a little short. Long rebound, Steph Blitzarf chucks it up the floor to Leilani Mitchell. Canberra get back on D, they reload the Flyers. Cambage calling for it, just shoots over the top of Froling. Liz Cambage with the bucket. Up to 10, 71% from the field. Froling, driving. All the contact from Sarah Blitzarf. There was no whistle. Last touch by the Flyers, so Canberra get it back.
And if you're the Capitals, you want to try and attack Liz, put her in all these situations. You might get blocked once or twice, but the whole aim of it is to try and get her to do something that she's just naturally good at. She loves blocking shots and coming over, being a defensive presence, but she might get another foul. You just got to keep going and attacking her.
Cabillo forced to chuck it in. Melbourne trying to drive through the lane, picks up the foul called on Leilani Mitchell.
And there's one we know is going to be aggressive. She just puts her head down and tries to go. And I'd like to see her maybe get that high ball screen with Mariana Tolo and turn the corner on Liz. And she got blocked once in the first quarter, then she made a bucket, and then she got fouled. And try and put her in those situations where she's going to have to come across, or you're getting a wide open layup.
I mentioned the intrigue earlier, Pete, around the backcourt situation as a prayer goes up from Griffin, doesn't drop. So Rochi and Melbourne, two of the young guards. Leilani Mitchell, 18 minutes on the floor, no points, 1 assist, no rebounds. The output offensively on the other side of things, Rochi with 11 points, Jade Melbourne with 8.
Oh, it's just what they do and they've shown so far this season. Both of them, when that ball's in their hand, they're looking to score at any opportunity, but more so in the open floor. They just take off and put their head down and so aggressive attacking the rim. And you're going to either draw some fouls or you're going to get layups, and you're going to have the odd one or two that's out of control. But if you pull Goris, you live with that with what they're producing so far.
Cambage catch and shoot, got it. Trying to get going, Liz Cambage, after some early foul trouble, up to 12 points. Cabillo, guarded by Cambage, bounce pass through to Tolo, locked up underneath the bucket. It's Steph Blitzarf's foul call.
We're talking about Maddie Rochi and Jade Melbourne. Cabillo, another one there, just aggressive and never looked like she wanted to shoot the ball, but caused that switch and then got a foul. Just another great play. That's what they have to try and do right now. Get downhill, attack Liz, make her be in an uncomfortable situation where she's not sure, am I going to try and help, potentially get a foul, or are you going to get a wide open layup or find someone who's wide open?
It's my error. Amy Clydesdale called for the foul, her first personal. Steph Blitzarf's on the floor, yet to give one. As Tolo catches the inbounds, 4 to go in the third term. Still at 11 points. Rochi driving straight through the lane, fouled en route to the basket. She'll head to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Such a professional outfit, aren't they, the Caps, though? Playing with a lead. It feels like we're saying similar things as we were the other night, Pete. We did the game together against the Melbourne Boomers, but got it out to double digits and just protected that the whole way through. Any sort of comeback that was mounted by the Boomers, they had an answer.
Well, if you're Paul Goris right now, you're saying that the Flyers are such a terrific team. They've loaded with depth and talent. They're going to make runs. Can you sustain it? And we saw them do that. The Caps do that against the Melbourne Boomers. Keep your scoreboard ticking over and try and just get some stops and really just keep it growing. It could get back within single digits. Don't get rattled. What you've done so far is working, but just keep going at it.
Here's Cambash backing away and on Tolo. No call in the basket. A satisfied look from Liz Cambash, up to 14 points. Now on D. Hands up on Tolo. There's a whistle and it's a walk. Travel called on Mariana Tolo. Let's head courtside. Braden Heselhurst.
Yeah, it just looks like the UC Capitals offense for most of the first half and including this third quarter, like Pete said, able to get into the paint at will, either through dribble penetration or post touches, which is a bit odd considering they came into the game as the worst three-point shooting team in this competition so far. So I thought coming into the game that Southside might try and make them shoot from the perimeter a bit more, but early on Canberra able to get to the rim at will.
Yeah, just 24% leading in. 3 of 9 tonight. The Caps. Tolo, catch and shoot up top. No good. Cambash the rebound. 11-point game. Clydesdale to Cambash. Shot goes up. Draws the foul. She'll head to the line to shoot a couple. Push called on Tapaya.
If I'm to pay, I want that one back, and probably there in time, just take one more step. It's going to hurt, but if you take that through the chest, then all of a sudden you put the rest in a situation. They know she's got 4 fouls. They know how critical she is to the team. Put them in a situation to try and make it cool, because otherwise you send her to the line, and she's a terrific free throw shooter, but she is starting to roll. Great move if you're Cheryl Chambers to bring her in and risk her, to trust her not to get this 4th foul. But the Caps, what can they do here to disrupt the momentum that she has going herself?
Oh, it's an intriguing stage of the game. She makes both at the free throw line, so it's back to 9 points, a 3-possession game. Cambash has 10 in the quarter. She's only been on for a couple of minutes. Momentum back with the Flyers. Melbourne to Tapaya. Bounce pass down to Froling. Catch and shoot in the corner. Rochi off the top of the rim. O'Board Griffin and the putback.
You see they're just in the right spot at the right time, but Liz not wanting to come across to fully contest that shot. She's got the 4 fouls. She knows how important she is, so that's the kind of plays you want to do. Great look, unlucky to miss, but just to find little spots where you're going to make her have to think.
Shot rims out from Cambash. Last second pass from Jenna O'Hay. And Tapaya, former Sydney Uni Flames baller, now with the Canberra Capitals in her first year. Come up with the stop here, the Flyers. Clydesdale down to the low block to Cambash, and they're able to bank 2 more off the glass.
It's a smart play by Liz. That's why she's one of the best in the world at what she does. Just early seal, get on that spot where they're going to throw it up. She's the only one who's going to be able to go and get that, and another good finish.
Down to Tolo. Tolo, great pump fake, and then pops it in and draws the foul. Mariana Tolo with the answer at the other end. She'll head to the line to add 1.
And that's 4 fouls on Jenna O'Hay. Great pass and a great finish by Tolo, but again, putting them in positions where they're uncomfortable. Jenna O'Hay, she's only got 6 and 4 dimes, but just how crucial she is on the defensive end. She's their floor leader in terms of being vocal. She's the captain of the team, so to get on 4 as well is another tough one, but right now they've got Liz absolutely rolling. Can they keep using it?
Tolo misses the foul shot. 11 points. It was 17 not long ago when Cambash checked into the game. Another foul called. On the whistle at the moment, the refs. It's going to be on Jade Melbourne. Eighteen of the 19 completed games so far this year have been won by the side in front at three-quarter time. Canberra's best performing quarter is the last. They're 5-0 in final quarters. Of course, they mounted that big final quarter comeback against the Lightning. Ultimately lost the game in OT. The only game to go to overtime so far in the new season. Rachel Jarry shooting foul shots. Both teams in the bonus. 2 of 2. Back to a 3-possession game. Oh, no. Cambage locked up there with Talia Tapea, and Tapea's going to be called for the foul. So there was contact between the pair away from the basketball. They both threw their arms back underneath the basket, and this call goes Cambage's way.
Well, she might have had a couple that went against her, but Tapea probably trying to look for something. We talk about, can they get something to go against her? Probably looking for it there, but I don't mind it. Those little things make the referee have to make a tough decision by putting him in and just having that physicality. So I don't mind that if I'm Paul Goris.
On Tapea comes up with a steal. Away to Rochi. Bounce pass to Melbourne in the corner. Final minute here at the third term. Intriguing stage of the game in the grand final rematch. Rochi to step back 3. No good. Clydesdale brings it down. Cambage and Tolo. Tolo scraps for it and wins it. Caps recover the ball. Tapea off the dribble. Swings it out to Rochi. Puts up the runner as she crashes into Jarry. The foul's going to be called on Rochi on the way through. Jarry set, reaching up. It's a big call.
It is, and look, credit to Rachel Jarry, she was there. It looked like it was just a bit of a late call. That if she went down straight away, I think she had someone behind her to kind of stop her from falling straight away. But great help side defense just to put yourself in the position to be able to try and take that through the chest. But it looked a little rough, or at least a little late, which is probably why everyone was turning around looking.
Tolo with 3, Froling with 3, Tapea with 3. It's fouls, that is, and now 3 for Rochi as well, as Jarry goes to the line. Brings it back to 10 points. Tapea and Steph Bledsoe. The crowd really riding the ref's whistle here as well. A foul called here. The armbar up from Steph Bledsoe. So no call originally. Bledsoe follows her to the basket. They call the second one. Cheeky smile on from Talia Tapea.
Well, if you're a player and a fan, you love these kind of matchups. You love these physical games. But if you're a referee, you just know that it looks like there's a bit going on from both ways, and they're going to have to be in tough positions each time. And it doesn't help when you've got such crucial players in foul trouble. So the physicality is one thing, but trying to force things here and there is not going to be good for anybody, and especially putting referees in those tough decisions. But you can do it a smart way. You can come across and put your body on the line and make him have to decide, are they there in time? Is there a block or is there a foul? But it's all the other little things off the ball that is no one wants to see.
I mentioned those with 3 for Canberra. Cambage, of course, with 4 for the Flyers and 4 for Jenna O'Hay. Sitting at the moment as Beck Cole tried to kick it out to Jarry. Just over her head, reaching for it. Final 6 seconds of the third term. Great defending from Liz Cambage as she blocks the shot. The subsequent shot banged off the glass that came after the horn at three-quarter time. So the Flyers back in the game. It's an 11-point margin. Canberra did lead it by 17 moments ago. Caps by 11. Canberra 66, Southside 55.
not the referees. Our focus stays on us, all right? We don't want to over just to keep like attacking her all the time. The ball's still got to get through hands, and we've got to have good space, okay? If it's late pick and roll, like bring her out of there. If she stays on the, if we set on the 3-point line, they've either got to go under or they've got to switch, and then we can attack and go into body. So late, don't set it too high, set it on the 3-point line where we can go into body.
Well, she might be scoring some points, but she's also bailing out of defense. Yeah. She's bailing out, that's what she's doing.
Yeah. We want to go. T, this is you. Tolo, this is you. Rog.
So here's the quarter from Liz Cambage. Pete coming off the bench with 4 fouls. She had only 6 points to half-time. She's now up to 18.
Well, they needed something. They needed a spark, and Cheryl Chambers just had to roll the dice, saying if it's not now, it could be a 25-point deficit. And she did what we know she can do. She is super talented, and she can score any which way. But you heard right there from Paul Goris was, we want to attack her, but we want to be smart about it. You don't want to just keep going at her every time. Swing the ball, because if you have to make her move on help side, that's when she's second guessing. And as they said, she's bailing out of things. You're going to get wide open layups. You don't have to go, but in transition, head down, really try and go through her body. Jade Melbourne's shown how to do that, Maddie Rocci, but she does. Liz Cambage is doing exactly what we know and expect from her in that quarter, and Cheryl Chambers will be loving that, but can she sustain that whilst being smart?
Braden Heselhurst is courtside for us. Braden.
Yeah, it looks like in that third quarter, Liz Cambage was just able to make quicker decisions, I think, on the offensive end, not allowing those extra defenders from the UC Caps to come and help. She was able to get deep seals and finish strong, or either just use her height and turn around and make those jump shots. So to me, that was the difference, that she was able to get going and keep her Southside Flyers team in this game.
Great to have you with us, Braden Heselhurst, with us on the sideline as Mariana Tolo comes up with the first points here of the final quarter. It's been immense for Canberra tonight. Oh, that's a loose inbounds pass from Jarry, and Tapea comes from the backcourt to collect, settles on the jump shot and makes it. Mid-range Jay's good, and Canberra with 4 quick points to start the final term.
Just an unforced turnover and an error from the Southside Flyers, and you can't afford to be doing that when you're playing catch-up. And another one right there.
Couple of big stops defensively, and back to 15 points. The Flyers had all the momentum as we went in at three-quarter time. Rocci off the dribble from the free throw line. Shot up, doesn't go. Cambage a rebound. 4 fouls for O'Hay, 4 fouls for Cambage. 15 points. The lead for the 2-time defending champs.
And Braden hit the nail on the head with that dominance in that third quarter from Liz. Was she's doing all that early work. You see right there, just seal after seal after seal, and put the defense in a tough spot, because she knows if she has to back down from a spot where she's not exactly comfortable, she may get that another offensive foul call against her. She's having quick little turnaround jumpers, fadeaways, or sealing low, where all she has to do is go straight up. Very, very smart offense from her.
Clydesdale chucks it in. Cambage to Mitchell. Sarah Blitzov's down to Liz. Goes to work against Tolo. Gets to the basket, shot up, and it's good. Cambage up to 20 points. There's a touch on 14 of them in quick time. Mitchell puts the shot up. Tolo grabs the O-ball to put back for 2 more.
That's just great tape by Jade Mel. Her aggression to just brought Liz out and kind of put her in those 2 minds again, and it gave Tolo an easy little putback. So as much as they're getting beat by Liz on one end, she is bailing out of a lot on the other, which is giving you the chance to just keeping this lead as it is, and they're not getting any closer.
Mitchell still without a basket. That missed 3. Flyers recover the ball. Turnaround jump shot. Cambage doesn't get the shooter's roll. Michaela Ruth on the rebound. Final 8 minutes. Canberra by 15.
Oh, great.
Rocci dumps it down low to Tolo. A mix-up defensively for the Flyers, and more points for Mariana Tolo.
Well, there's 2 ways to attack someone who's their superstar when they're on 4 fouls. One is to just put your head down and really go at them, try and get through their body. But the other is to bring them out so they don't want to be anywhere near the play. And you see she's switching on. She's really trying to make sure that she doesn't get in those bad situations. and then you get the miscommunication, and no one knows where their player is supposed to be, and you're getting wide open layups or putbacks. So there's two ways to go at it. In the third quarter, they were kind of going with the aggressive, trying to get body to body, and now they're just playing smart basketball.
Clydesdale tries her hand from long range, misses. Jade Melbourne on the rebound. Brings it up the floor, and Clydesdale called for the foul. Had an exam during the week, Jade Melbourne. Her exam supervisor, none other than Kelsey Griffin, co-captain of the team and former league MVP.
Be a great luxury to have, although everyone's probably enjoying the nice little hub life and you've got to do some school, but she is destined for greatness, and we're seeing that happen in not just one game, but sustained every single game now, which is just awesome.
Ruth to Tolo. Tolo left it short on the jump shot, follows up, grabs the offensive rebound. Ruth, mid-range Jade, misses. O'Hay out there, 4 fouls along with Cambage. Work to do for the Flyers. Fair understatement. Step back 3. Sarah Blitzarves can't connect. Slipping away from the Flyers here, if it hasn't already. 17 points the margin. Tolo puts up the shot, no good. Oh, Cambage a little casual trying to give it to Mitchell. See the pep coming out of the step here of the Southside Flyers. They're within 11 points at three-quarter time, and it's back to a game-high 17, Pete Hawley, with 6:40 to play.
Well, we've seen it. As much as Liz has been dominating since she's back on, they're throwing the ball in. They're just offensively ticking things over, and they're playing some really smart basketball and not getting frustrated. Paul Goris said it. He said, let's just not worry about the referees. Let's not worry about anything else. Worry about us. And it's working wonders.
Clydesdale to Cambage. Bounce pass through to O'Hay. Shot blocked from Tolo. She has been everywhere, Mariana Tolo. Both sides of the ball, 17 points, 6 boards, and a block shot there. Going head-to-head with one of the best players in basketball, Melbourne. Rattles it in. Have some of that. Jade Melbourne puts it out to 20 points the Caps' way. Timeout called by Coach Chambers.
I've run out of words. I'm sorry. I called the Boomers game where she had 20 points. She was terrific, but the swagger she plays with for an 18-year-old rookie is incredible. And I go back to, I think it was in the second quarter, little right-hand scoops, third quarter, little right-hand scoop in traffic over Jenna O'Hay. She is so fun to watch, but it's so contagious. You see how much fun. You can hear their bench every time she does something. And Paul Goris has said every time the ball goes in her hands, something good happens. She makes good decisions for an 18-year-old, which is incredible.
11-2 run to start the final term with the game on the line. Big questions, I'm sure, for Cheryl Chambers. They've kept the core in place. This is really the core of their team from last year that made it through to a grand final series. Every team's lost their imports, and they've added Liz Cambage, one of the best players in the world, and they could potentially be 4-2 with losses, or they're going to be 4-2 with losses to the Boomers and the Capitals in their first 6 games.
Oh, their depth is incredible, but everyone who thought they were never going to go undefeated, especially in a season like this with so many things that could happen. It was just going to always be a matter of time, where can they work things out? And I think the biggest question mark was always going to be when Liz is not on the floor, whether it's foul trouble or has to rest, what are they going to be able to do? Because your offense is surrounded by her, and rightly so because of how good she is. But what else can happen when she's off the floor? Or what else can happen if she's resting, just to make sure that they can keep these leads growing? Because they've got the talent and the depth to do so.
Anik Conti out there now for the Flyers. Cambage trying to back her way in. Grabs her own rebound, is fouled, a putback. Basket's good, one to come at the line.
And I thought I might have seen this a little bit earlier, throwing in Monique Conti, because the first game of the year, the Flyers versus the Spirit, they threw in Monique Conti in the second quarter and just said, go after Tessa Levy. And she did. She just harassed her, gloved her, really tried to make it a tough night. And she did a great job. So I wouldn't be surprised if they've thrown her in right now and say, go to Jade Melbourne and try and do something.
Fourth foul called on Mariana Tolo, as you can see on the bottom of your screen. 4 on O'Hay, 4 on Cambage. Missing the extra at the line, Liz. Basket won't count.
And this team is just so well drilled. Their offensive execution has been outstanding. They lost that first game, but everything, they never looked rattled. They had a little bit of moments there when Liz started going, but then they just started ticking it over, really working out what works well, and that's why they're the reigning champs, because they know what it takes to win in all those situations.
Melbourne fouled, trying to make her way to the basket. Monique Conti called for it. So we've obviously seen Liz in foul trouble tonight. They're playing against a really good team, one of the best, if not the best, defensive team in the competition. Have you noticed anything in Southside, a sense of vulnerability that other teams can exploit based off, I guess, their 2 losses this season?
Well, I think it's something, obviously, if you can get her in foul trouble, it changes the game from the jump. But it's not always going to happen. But it didn't really in the first few minutes. Mariana Tolo's energy was just really good. Made her miss a couple, scored on the other end. And then you kind of put that doubt in your mind where you're kind of chasing tail from early on. And that's where you got to go. You've got to step it from the jump. And that's what the Caps do. We've seen it so far this season. But the Flyers, they're a great team. They're well coached. They'll be able to figure it out. But it's hard when you've got no practices to figure it out. You've just got to do it in games.
Cole had a look on the perimeter, didn't take it. Draws the foul. Just has the 2 points tonight, Bet Cole. Their scoring done through 2 players, Candace 22 and Sarah Blitzarves with 19. 17 of them came in the first half. Braden Hesselhurst is with us courtside. Braden.
Yeah, guys, I thought heading into this game today that Leilani Mitchell's point guard play might separate Southside a little bit, but the job that Jade Melbourne and Canberra have done on her defensively has been outstanding, and then Jade Melbourne and the point guards, or the guards for Canberra, have been the more aggressive ones down the other end. So huge job from Jade Melbourne and Canberra on Leilani Mitchell so far this game.
Leilani's 0 of 7 here, had a tough night, and that's magnified more when you guard against you, when he's having such a terrific night. And she has 5 minutes now to turn it around. I keep harping on this hub season, but there's no time in practice to go back and look at this. So every minute's crucial, and that's what the coaches look at, is finishing out games and what are we going to be able to do going forward. This game might be out of it now, but we got a game in a couple of days' time. We need to fix some certain things, and there it is again. The offensive execution of this Canberra team is incredible.
Kelsey Griffin with a tough bucket. And one to come. 8 boards, leading rebounder in the game. Rochi and Melbourne backcourt for Canberra combining for 29 points. This foul shot but a rebound. Tapia shakes Conti. Tolo with the mismatch. Shot up and it's good. Mariana Tolo, what a display. The veteran for the Canberra Capitals, become a showcase for her. Candace with a bucket at the other end. Mariana Tolo, 19 points, 64% from the field, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 block shots.
Well, it's from the first minute of the game, and looked like she was ready for this matchup, and as they would be, they know the Flyers are coming in wanting redemption. You want to make sure you keep this kind of big dog status of we're the champs. You got to come and take it from us, because no one's going to give it to them just because they're the most talented. And Mariana Tolo set that tone, and then Jade Melbourne got rolling. Maddie Rochi's just playing with super confidence. But all these players, like Kelsey Griffin's only got 6 points. We haven't had to see her too much, and just can slowly start to work in. This Capitals team is a dangerous team.
Jade Melbourne with the foul shots, up to 14. Cabillo guards Mitchell. Candace, the mid-range, misses. There's Jade Melbourne on the boards. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 14 points for the 18-year-old. Bounce pass to Cabillo, completes the play.
And you can hear it in the bench from the Capitals. They absolutely love every time the ball is in her hands, and something good seems to always happen. And she's got a bounce in her step that is so contagious for these Caps. And on the other end, Cabillo again. And they feed off each other's energy better than anyone else in the league that we've seen so far.
And now 5-on-4 up the floor. Clean look for Jade Melbourne. Misfires. Mitchell the rebound. Candace. Catches, turnaround, jump shot's good. Great fight back from Liz Candace. Got a technical foul. The team was within 2 points. They fell behind by as many as 17. They went on a run, and Cambesh is up to 26 points, 6 rebounds. That's in limited game time. Clean look for Griffin. It's the side of the rim.
And it looked like there that Liz kind of signaled that she's a bit gassed and wants to come out. But yeah, the 4 fouls, it hurt at the time with the momentum swing, but it changes. She was terrific in this second half offensively as she goes to take a seat, but it changed the way she plays defense. She is such a defensive presence because of her size and length that she can't be at her best because she has 4 fouls. And it changed the way then the rest of the Flyers, if I'm one of the guards like Leonie Mitchell or Bet Cole, I'm constantly thinking, I don't have that backup there in case I get beat. And this Canberra team will beat you. Their guards are fast.
Timeout called. Margin sits at 21. I think we're expecting a lot of things tonight. We had high hopes coming into this game. I don't think we're expecting 21 points though, Pete. Canberra's way, final 3 minutes.
No, I don't think anybody did, and I'm sure the Capitals probably didn't either. They were expecting a really hard-fought game go down to the end, but that's a credit to them. They buy into game plans every single night, and when you don't have much training to do to really prepare for a team, that's huge, and that takes so much pressure off the coaching staff to know that you can trust them on such a short turnaround. And what they've delivered tonight is outstanding. And then if you're the Flyers, yeah, you're going to get everyone's best shot, especially the reigning champs. Yep. You're going to get every single team's best shot every night. And in a season like this, if you're off one night, that can be so crucial come this business end.
They're an intriguing watch, a loaded lineup. The Southside Flyers, prohibitive title favourite. They're 4-2, losses to Melbourne and now the Capitals, the defending champs, to start the new season. The path ahead now for Canberra. There's no soft touches in this league, but this may be the closest thing to it. They've got Perth in Cairns on Thursday, then Bendigo on Saturday. That's back in Townsville, so just one game to come after this in Cairns. And then it's a tough run home. Melbourne, Adelaide, Townsville, Perth a second time.
Well, you're right, there's no walkovers because every game is going to be something different, because you can have an off shooting night as a team, which we've seen. The Melbourne Boomers, for example, have struggled from 3 and it's been hurting them. And those games can be really crucial when you come up against other teams.
So that's the draw for Canberra. The draw for Southside, stint in Cairns, Perth, and then Townsville and Adelaide in a back-to-back this weekend, Saturday, Sunday. So these two teams, they don't meet again until the last game of the regular season. Pete, it'll be fascinating to see what shape both teams are in by then. Obviously a compressed schedule, but Kelsey Griffin, some more points here. She had a big final quarter. So she's up to 8 points, 9 rebounds. 22 minutes for Griffin coming back from that back complaint. That's the thing with Canberra, so this will be 5 in a row now while they're nursing players back from injury. Mitchell for 3. There's her first points of the game.
And we're talking about how important these minutes are. The game's over, but can she start to roll now? Because they're going to need those guards to step up, as well as their bigs are going to be so important to them. Their guards against teams like this, against Townsville, they've got tremendous guards in Heel and Nicholson. They need their guards to be able to ride along with Liz.
Froling with a big O-board late. 18 points the margin. Tapia bounce pass, Griffin reverse layup. Up to 10 points on double-double watch again, Kelsey Griffin. Here's Beck Pizzi, kicks it out. Sarah Blitzarves for 3, misses everything. So next time we see Canberra, Thursday night up against Perth, back here in Cairns, and then they go to Townsville and they stay there all the way through to the playoffs. Keely Froling with the layup. Next time we see Southside, a game which we're doing, Pete, streamed right here on Wednesday night. Perth and Lynx up against the Southside Flyers. So previously you'd look at that game and you think, oh, that'll be lopsided given they beat them by 46 last night. They've got stuff to work on, the Flyers.
Well, they do, and you've got to look at that. You've got to come out, and I'm sure Cheryl Chambers is saying, we've got to think about us, and we've got to work on us in every single game, because if we're too worried about other teams, then we're not going to click, and they haven't so far in this game. They had a small little patch in the second quarter, and obviously feeding Liz when she was rolling, but they've got a little tweaks to work on, which is the trouble with a team full of depth. Where does everybody fit in their roles? And with no preseason, with a shortened hub season, it was going to be hard to work out. I'm sure they're going to be fine. They're so talented and so fun to watch, but these are the little things that they have to start tweaking with this business end of the season.
Delaney and Smart both out there. Smart to Tyre. Shot goes up. There's a foul call before that. Points won't count. Bit of burn into the bench here. Tyre, Smart, Roof, Kaiser, Delaney, the 5 out there for Canberra late. Britt Smart hits the first at the line. Both teams in the bonus.
And it's something I might have wanted to see a bit earlier from Cheryl Chambers was the inclusion of Monique Conti in the lineup. I bring in that, highlight that first game against Bendigo, when the game might have been over, but just the job she did defensively on their guards, especially Tessa Levy, was awesome. Just throw something else out there. See if she can go to Jade Melbourne or Maddie Rocci and just try and swing the energy of the game. And it is contagious from everybody. So I might have wanted to see if she could do that a little earlier.
Conti up top to Cole. Away to Sarah Blitzhouse. The hot shooting streak in the first half. Misses here. It's 4 points in the second half for Sarah Blitzhouse. Bet Cole has her pocket picked by Michaela Roof. Just 4 points for Cole tonight. Hasn't had a heap of shots for what it's worth. Britt Smart with the Horns play right at the end, and there's going to be a foul called here. Bet Cole. Slow to get up. Just a leg passing through from Britt Smart. Slow to get up. It's always, you're always pretty stiff in that scenario, aren't you? You're going to the hardwood anyway, and then go up an inadvertent leg on the way through.
Yeah, it was unfortunately after the play and just really accidental knee to the back of the head, but they're never nice, especially when you're already facing the other way.
Tough operator, Bet Cole. And foul shots. Brittany Smart. 4 years with the Melbourne Boomers, couple of years with Sydney Uni Flames, and now at Canberra. Team MVP winner with the Boomers 1 year. Out of her 4 there. 1 of 2 from this trip to the foul line. Roof competing for the rebound. Clydesdale picks it off. Final 10 seconds of the game. What a statement made by the Canberra Capitals. Monique Conti, perhaps the last basket in proceedings. Shot up from Tyre right on the buzzer. But the 2-time defending champs, they flex their muscle. And still, the team to beat the Canberra Capitals by 23 points in the finish. They beat the Southside Flyers 95-72.
They were terrific from the start, and they are such a well-drilled team, and they know how to play together. They play smart. They're super aggressive on both ends, but smart about it, and they're so fun to watch. And that's a massive character-building win for the Caps, especially bringing players back in from injury, such important ones like Kelsey Griffin, but huge for them to just keep this momentum rolling.
5 in a row for the Capitals, with games against Perth and Bendigo to come. 1 game left in Cairns as well before making their way back to Townsville. They'll stay there right through to the playoffs, trying to defend their championship for a second time. Not far away, the Southside Flyers with a bit to work on. 4-2. Most loaded roster in women's basketball. And their second defeat, it's a heavy one. Ends up being 23 points. Outstanding Mariana Tolo with 19 points and 7 boards. The backcourt, the combination of Rocci and Melbourne, combining for 31 in the end. Pete Hawley for the Caps.
Yeah, it's not so much just the winning margin, it's how they won. It's so smart the way they played, and the foul trouble was huge. That momentum, take no doubt about it, really swung the game, but it was from the jump. And I think Mariana Tolo, what a game she played. She started it, but then their guards finished it, and they carried it the whole way through. Jade Melbourne, Maddie Rocci were outstanding, and really that guard matchup won the game for them. over the period of the time, because Tolo and Cambridge kind of ended out evening out stats-wise, but Tolo really started it with her presence defensively and offensively, and those fouls, that charge really was pivotal.
It's been a big couple of days in the competition. We're trying to establish an early season pecking order. Pete, we've had Townsville beating the Melbourne Boomers yesterday. The Boomers with a win over the Flyers, and now the Capitals 5 in a row and a 23-point win over Southside.
Yeah, well, it's going to keep chopping and changing as this season goes, but pecking orders pick themselves when they're champions doing this kind of thing.
Let's kick it down to Braden Hesselhurst, who's courtside for us.
Maddie, a huge win for you guys. How does that feel after a scrappy performance the other night?
Yeah, I mean, we were obviously disappointed with the start of that game against Sydney the other night, so we watched some film and came back, and we knew this was going to be a super tough matchup tonight, so to come out on top and get that win, it was a massive effort by everyone.
And with Talia back and Jade playing well and Abby and yourself, it seems like you guys have got a good backcourt combination at the moment. How does that feel?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, everybody who comes in does their job, so either at the defensive end or the offensive end, we always have players who are going to step up each game, so we don't have to rely on that one person. I mean, our 4-guard rotation is great. We do everything for the team, so it's really good to have everyone together.
The other games so far struggled a little bit offensively, but defense has been really good. Seems like you guys have built your identity off that. How much of a focus is that for you guys?
Yeah, every year, I mean, at the Caps, we definitely pride ourselves on our defensive end, and that's, I mean, the way that we win games is obviously that defensive pressure, and that flows into our offense. So obviously there's lots to improve on. We can still improve on our defense and go forward from there, but we take that each game at a time.
I know this is just your 6th game, but again, a win against the favourites of the competition. Does this spur you guys on a little bit and give you a bit more confidence?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great team. Everybody in that team can definitely play, so we can't look at it as a massive jump ahead of ourselves, but I mean, it was a great effort by our team tonight, and we're going to match up against them again, and it's going to be even tougher, so we just got to come out each game and keep performing.
No worries, good luck later in the week.
Thank you.
To go along with that, and Braden Hesselhurst down there with Matty Rocci in the back of 17 points. Second half highlights here, Pete, what we witnessed at the Cairns Pop-Up Arena, the Canberra Capitals home by 23.
Well, Matty Rocci said it best, is that everyone's just playing their role, and you can see it, and the infectious energy that's gone from start to finish. She said at the Caps they pride themselves on defence, but having energy on defence and aggression on defence, smart aggression, leads to this offence, but they are just so fun to watch when everything's clicking, and they're all playing together, and you can hear it. You can actually hear it from their bench, how much fun they have playing together. It was just a dominating performance from start to finish, and they weathered every storm, and that's the sign of a really good team, is you know teams like Southside are going to make a run, and they did when Liz was just on an absolute tear, but they just weathered it. They said, okay, we'll let Liz go off, but we're going to dominate down the other end against her, and they did just that.
Similar themes to the Melbourne Boomers game, just opened up that 10-point lead, and as you said, just able to keep them at bay throughout. The defensive effort, I mean, that's where we got to highlight. You see the steal there from Talia Tapaya. So they end up with 9 steals, 16 turnovers for the Flyers. They win the rebounding count, and they shoot the ball at 53% from the field. And Braden emphasised throughout about how they haven't really been forced to take too many threes early in the game. I think it was when he pointed that out, it was early in the third quarter or midway through the third quarter, and they'd only had 9 looks from long range. But these are the tallies that they've kept teams to in their last 5 games now. 67 points against Townsville, 56 against Bendigo, 50 against Melbourne, 63 against Sydney, and they keep the Southside Flyers with their weapons offensively to 72 points, a team that was averaging 98 per game.
Yeah, it's hard to kind of look over their defence because of how aggressive they are, but they make everything so hard and they cause so many turnovers. But then it gets in the other team's head where they start having unforced errors and turnovers that they don't need to be there. But they are the best offensively executed team in the league, and they showed that, and they've shown it already in the past. But when things get tough or teams are making a run, they get through a play, they get the ball to where they need, or they're going to get a defensive rebound and just take off. And they're so successful at that. And that's what championship pedigree does. And for everyone to buy in like that, it's a tremendous game, and they will have so much confidence going on this.
Here's the numbers, the field goal percentage for the Caps. 53%. They ended up shooting 19 threes. As I mentioned, a lot of those actually came late in the game. It wasn't a shot that they relied on early in the match.
No, it wasn't, and they don't need to, as they said. Is the way they attack the rim and kind of put the other defenses in these positions where they're either going to foul, which they did, or they're going to give up layups, and they did that as well. Their aggression downhill, the creativity, it started with Tolo sealing, but Jade Melbourne and Maddie Rocci, those two as a backcourt duo, it's so fun to watch, and it clearly is so fun to be around that team, and they love playing together.
Let's take a look at the ladder as to how it looks at this stage, obviously with a winner for the Canberra Capitals. So that's an impressive victory for the Caps. They've now won 5 in a row. They sit 5-1 on the table. Adelaide still with a 100% win streak. Of course, they've been in quarantine for the last week, but they're out tomorrow up against the Melbourne Boomers.
I can't wait to see the Adelaide Lightning. The whole situation's so unfortunate to them, but they were so good in those 2 games. Steph Talbot, Alex Wilson, getting these young players playing with confidence, they're super fun to watch. Hopefully they can just come back out and pick up where they left off. But there's just so many things that can happen in this year. Will Melbourne bounce back? We expect them to. They've got the players to do it. But like Townsville's surprise packet, Shyla Hill, Lauren Nicholson, they're 2 to watch out for. They can win games for you. It's such a fun season the way it's playing out.
If you're watching on KO Sports, there's 1 game still to come tonight. Second leg of a doubleheader at the Cairns Pop-Up Arena between the Perth Lynx and the Sydney Uni Flames. Have you got a winner for us there, Pete?
I like Sydney as well. They're another team. Anneli Maley has been terrific, and I think they're going to be able to just get over the line. But you never know. You never know in a season like this. We've seen it, and I don't think anyone expected a 23-point blowout like that.
For the rest of our audience on iView, great to have you with us throughout the night. The grand final rematch, 95-72. A big win for the Canberra Capitals. A statement-like victory up against the title favourites. Pete, it's been good fun.
Hey, it's been great fun. Can't wait to be here again.
Thanks to Braden Hesselhurst, Corbin Middlemass, on behalf of the entire crew. Thanks for all their work. Signing off for now. A win for the Canberra Capitals. 95 over the Southside Flyers, 72.